Hi everyone, this is Christine Palmer, and today I'm going to be talking about my personal relationship with conflict. So one phrase that I always kind of try and keep in mind when I deal with conflict is that you can never truly expect someone to understand how you're feeling or what's going through your head unless you explicitly tell them. And I think that personally kind of resonates with me because I know that in today's culture, and I am also guilty of it, we tend to kind of like elongate conflict by being passive aggressive, and I'm guilty of being passive aggressive. Sometimes I have a false assumption that people should know how I feel, and if I'm being passive aggressive, then they'll know that they did something, but that's not necessarily the case at all, and I have to set an expectation for myself to be direct, to tell them if something is bothering me or how I'm feeling or for whatever emotion it is. I can't really expect anyone to understand where I'm coming from unless I tell them exactly. So that's kind of like a phrase that explains how I feel about conflict, is that it's always your kind of responsibility to let another person know if what your feelings are. You can't expect people to just know. And like the same applies conversely. Like I can't expect to know what other people feel unless they tell me. So just being very direct about it is another word that I would use. So then on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not comfortable, 10 being comfortable, I would say that my comfort level with conflict is probably a 6. I'm fairly comfortable with it, but at the same time, depending on the kind of conflict that it is, I might respond or react different ways. Personally, I think that my conflict relationship is that I am a very confrontational person. I really like to address things head on because I don't like to play a guessing game. I like to know how people feel, and I don't want to try and guess their feelings because obviously if I try to play this guessing game, it's not going to be the most efficient, and it's not going to be like the most correct understanding of things, of course. And so how I feel about that score is I'm pretty comfortable, just because I like to say it really depends on the situation and the kind of conflict in my life. It isn't really kind of me being comfortable with every sort of conflict, because of course there are varying levels of conflict. Some things can be personal, some things can be just work related, or there's a whole spectrum of different conflicts. So I really think that my score being a 6 kind of reflects that, okay, I can be comfortable most of the time, but I am still uncomfortable with conflict, because conflict is something to be uncomfortable about in general. And then some factors that I would think personally affect my comfort or discomfort is one of the most important factors, I think, is whether or not I know a person or am comfortable with that person, because obviously if the person is a stranger, I'm less likely to directly approach them about it. Even though I'd like to think that I would, I might be more apprehensive to talk to them directly because we don't have that personal connection. Whereas in personal relationships in my life, it's easier to talk to people, at least in my opinion. So I feel like conflict can get settled either quicker if it's a personal relationship, or because it's a personal relationship, it may take even longer. So that's just my opinion and my perspective on conflict. Thank you.